Squeeze on in through here, bro. Whew. What's up, guys? Let me get a little comfortable here. What's up, guys? My name is... Let me make sure the mic is on. I think it is. I think we got the mic on. Everything's Gucci. Everything's good in the hood. Go down a little bit so I can lay back. I feel like my chair is a little bit broken or something, but for the most part, everything is good. Everything should be pretty Gucci. So here's what it is, guys. Welcome to another episode of The Truth Rebellion. The Truth Rebellion podcast. I am your host, Joshua Gerald Michael Schutz. That's me. Well, how's everything going? I hope everything's going great with you guys. We're currently watching and monitoring the situation in Iran and the Middle East very carefully, as well as everything else that's going on in the world. And, so here we are, guys. So this is a really exciting episode, broski, because as you may have known, or maybe you haven't known, but if you don't know, I'm going to tell you now. This is a very exciting episode because actually, the last time that I made an episode, this had not happened yet, so we didn't mention it. But now, since the last time that I've made an episode, we have went viral on Instagram. Isn't that crazy? This is crazy, man. It's exciting. It's exciting news. It's really nuts, bro. Since the last time I talked to you guys, we had I'll just break it down for you. We have actually went viral on Instagram. We have now got, you just believe this, guys, believe this, folks. We now have a combined over 1 million views on Instagram. Over 1 million views. If you're not following me on Instagram, I'll probably put a link to it in the bio or something like that. Because if you're watching this, if you see me, you're probably on YouTube right now. And if you hear me, then you're probably on Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon Music or whatever it is. We are on all podcast platforms, Podbean, and whatever else you have. We're on all the podcast platforms. Typically right now, in the future, we're going to change the way that we're hosting it, because typically what I do is I put the video podcast on YouTube like this, show to show, and I put my audio podcast typically on Spotify. And the reason why I do that, and Spotify automatically goes to Amazon Music and Apple and all these other ones. Now, the reason why I typically do that is because I did upload some video podcasts to Spotify specifically, but when it did that, for whatever reason, like the video would show up on Spotify, but when it got distributed to Amazon and Apple and all that, and YouTube, it would only show up the audio. So it would be a blank background, and you would see the logo, and you would hear me talking, but you wouldn't see anything. So it didn't make a lot of sense. I would have to upload 2 videos. I would have to upload the same podcast video twice, essentially. Once to Spotify and once to YouTube. And that's a lot of time. It just takes a long time to upload all that all the time. So I was like, this doesn't make any sense. If it's going to pop up audio everywhere except Spotify anyways, it makes a lot more sense to just put the audio on Spotify and the video straight on YouTube. So that's the reason why we do it like that for now. That's a for now thing. That will change eventually, probably, I don't know, when I switch platforms or I switch hosts or something like that. Which, when I do that, you won't have to do anything because you'll still be subscribed. You'll already be subscribed, and, wherever you listen or see it, it'll still be there. It's just that it's hard to explain the technicalities behind it if you don't understand podcasting and all that. But basically the way it works is that, a different host, like if I upload the video, it should upload the video to all platforms as well. So it'll be video podcasts everywhere and not just audio. So for now, I just do the video on YouTube. So if you're listening to the audio, you could be anywhere on any platform. If you're watching this, you see me, then you're on YouTube for now. So basically what it is that I'll share my other socials in the feed probably, so you could see all the things that I'm on. We're on quite a few things. It's some interesting stuff. But anyways, the crazy thing is that I actually went viral on Instagram. No lie, 100%, real authentically went viral. I had my personal Instagram, which I never really went on that much anyways. Never really went on there that much. I didn't really just use Instagram all like that, not much, But I had 800 followers on there or something like that. And I would upload a picture every once in a while. But then when I launched the podcast, I decided that I would make a dedicated Instagram account to the podcast for podcast clips and things like that, so you could do Instagram reels. So that's what I did. So my new Instagram, I still have access to both, but the one that I primarily use, because I don't really use Instagram like that, is the Truth Rebellion Instagram. And I'll leave the link, like I said. Well, we've been uploading clips on there for, the last 4 months, right? We essentially started it in the last 4 months. And we would put clips on there, and, and they would get some views. They didn't get bad views. They would get, maybe a couple hundred views, 200-300 views a piece, which is pretty decent. It's not bad. But, but I just keep uploading. And I had, 12 followers on there. And but that's cool with me, because it's all about consistency. It's all about grinding. It's all about keep going. It didn't bother me. I'm going to keep going no matter what. And I had 400 or 500 videos up there, right? And 12 followers. And, I put one clip up there where I was, you could just go on there. You'll see it. It's pinned now. But I went on there, and the most amount of views that I had gotten once or twice, I actually got 3,000 views on one clip once, and then 5,000 once. And that was a lot for me, right? That was a whole lot. 3,000 to 5,000, that's a lot of views, But typically that was my viral, obviously. Really. That's my viral, bro. And I know that a lot of people understand what I mean when I say that, right? It's crazy. So this clip that I put up there, this just happened I think 8 days ago now, just the last week. I put this clip on there, and I went to sleep. Well, I put it up there, and I didn't really check it throughout the day, and then I came back and I checked it right before I was going to sleep, and it said that it had 4,500 views. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. This is going to be one of my better clips. This thing might actually break my record, because my record at that time, I think, was 6,500. It was a clip of me reacting to Halsey, talking about how corrupt the musical industry is, and that's still up there too. But I was I went to sleep, and I'm wow. And I was excited, this one might get to 6,000 or 7,000 views. I was really excited about that. So I went to sleep. And then when I woke up in the morning, I go through my socials like I typically do. And then I just happened to go onto my Instagram, and I was going to go look at that video, and I was going to be really hoping maybe it got 1,000 extra views, or maybe it only got 300 views. And we'll just be a little disappointed. It is what it is. And so I go on there, and I'm scrolling, and I look at the clip, and at the bottom of it, it says 40,000 views. And I said, what? Right? What? So I was looking at it again to make sure I wasn't reading it wrong. You know what I mean? It said 40.5 or whatever, 40.7 thousand views, something like that. I was, what the heck is going on, man? And I was my jaw dropped, literally. my jaw's dropping. I'm freaking out. I'm like screaming. I'm like, I'm good. What? And I'm clicking on the video, making sure I'm refreshing it over and over to make sure that it's not like spazzing out or doing something stupid or I'm hallucinating or something. And I see a 4-0 on there when there's not really one there, you know. And yeah, and essentially, well, it was 40,000 views. And I said, oh my God, I just got 40,000 views on Instagram. So I started telling everybody, bro, I just got 40,000 views. And I thought that was going to be the end of it. Like, that's a lot of views, right? That's 10 times more than anything I've ever gotten, my top clip. So I was like, well, this is crazy. And then I went to, and not just views either, like likes and comments and reposts and everything, like the whole 9 yards. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And then I'm freaking out. And then like 2 hours later, I go back on there and it's 60,000. And then 2 hours later, I go back on there and it's 80,000. And by the next day, we had gotten to 100,000 views. And I was like, oh my God, we just went viral. Like, we literally just went viral. That is crazy. It's never happened to me before. That's insane, man. You know, I know people personally that have went viral, interestingly enough, that I knew in real life before they went viral. And, you know, they were just normal, everyday people. And then the next thing you know, you see it just blowing up on social media. You're like, what the heck is this? That was crazy. Like, how is this crazy, man? And they know who they are. And they know who they are. There's a couple of them. And, you know, it's crazy stuff. And you always wonder to yourself, what would it be like? You just go to sleep and wake up the next morning, you have 100,000 views. But now I can't say that anymore because that actually literally happened to me, which is crazy. So that went up to 100K. And then by the next 2 or 3 days, it was at 158,000 views. And now it's at, last time I checked, it's at like 237,000 views. So we're over 250,000 views on that video. So I was freaking out and I'm like, what? And then my followers just start going up, right? Because I had 12 followers and then I'm on there and it's like, oh, now it's 30 followers, 50 followers, now it's 100, now it's 200. Like, it's just going up. Like, what is going on? So I'm like, what? So I just am freaking out and I'm telling everybody I had this clip go viral. And then all of a sudden, all the videos for all the, you know, it made all the other views for all the other videos go up too. And we just keep normally uploading like we normally do. And now it just keeps going crazy. Like, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And now we have, we had our second video hit over 100,000 views. Like 4 days after that, like 3 days ago, we had our second video hit 100,000 views. Our second 100,000 view video. And then the same day, that night, we had a third 100,000 view video. And now, right now as I'm speaking today, we hit another one. We're at 4 100,000 view videos. Crazy. And one of them, well, hit 200 like the first one. So now we have 200,000 view videos. Absolutely nuts. And our follower count just keeps going up, and now it's at like 3,700 followers last time I checked. And every time I click on the app, it's got more views, more likes, more DMs, more shares, more followers. Notifications are going so crazy that my Instagram app is literally like, it's like glitching out and stuff, man. It's crazy. So, you know, that's the news. That's the big news, you know, that, you know, it's crazy because, like, on Facebook, I don't get any likes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Those people are just hating on me or some bunch of haters. And I was saying that a long time ago because, you know, on Twitter, I would get a decent amount of views. I think the biggest tweet I ever got was, like, reached, like, 100,000 people, which was crazy. And, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. And it had like 1,200 likes, something like that. You know, it's crazy. And that was about January 6th. And that was a few years ago before Elon Musk bought it. And then nothing like that ever happened again. But now this is bigger than that, though, because this is video. You know what I mean? So that's bigger. That's like crazier, you know. And now it keeps happening. So we have $400,000 or 100,000 viewed videos. And on the bottom end of that, we also have like another 10 videos that are all at 70 to 80,000, and then another 10 after that they're like 50 to 60, and then we got like another 10 after that's like 40 to 30. So everything just keeps going up, man. So this is awesome. This is great. So that's amazing, man. That's the awesome news. I'm telling everybody, I'm freaking out. I'm like, once the second video went up to 100,000 views, I'm like, okay, this is cool because this means that, it's kind of like proof. It's like solidarity. You didn't just go viral once, but now you've gone viral 4 times because it keeps on hitting where it hits. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Now, in total, all of my views, is crazy, man. It keeps going up every day. I look at the analytics and it goes up and up and up. In total views of all videos in the last 8 days, the last week or so, we have reached over 1 million views. We just cracked 1 million total views on Instagram in a week. Literally a week. It's absolutely crazy, man. So it was really surreal, honestly, and it still is kind of surreal. So, if I don't act normal about it, or if I act like, because if I act like kind of strange about it, or if I act like I'm just kind of, acting like whatever, it's really because it's kind of like, what? It's kind of so surreal that you really don't know what to say or what to do. You're just kind of sitting here watching it. You're like, I don't know. I guess we just keep going. I don't know. This is nuts, man. Now, that was nuts, right? That was nuts. Now, and so that's crazy. So I've just been all over Instagram now because I got all these comments and I'm going back and forth with all these people commenting, and I got all these DMs and I'm going back and forth with people in my DMs and talking to people and all sorts of stuff. And, it's really crazy. And it's crazy. You got all these verified accounts in the comment section, people blue check marks, and there's like millionaires and pop stars in there and all sorts of stuff. It's crazy, man. It's really crazy. And, that's it. I mean, it's nuts. So that's where I've been. That's why I haven't been tweeting a whole lot. On Twitter, there's not a whole lot of tweets that have been there for the last week, and I don't know if I've made anything else too much, because I'm just like, what is going on? And so, while that's happening, I did also just get a TikTok video. And I've been banned off of TikTok multiple times, by the way. I just want to say this really quick, okay? Okay, well, I'll wait a second. I'll say that in a minute, okay? Now, while all that's happening, right, and I'm just getting all of these views, and we're at 1 million views. We're at 100,000 likes. Not 100,000 views, 100,000 total likes from all videos combined in the last 7 days. Crazy. 100,000 likes. Nuts, man. Nuts. But that's because this is the Truth Rebellion. And we rebel with the truth because we just tell the truth, because we're authentic, because we're real, because we say it like it is, because we say what's important and what's going on. And that's why we're doing right now, currently, we're doing so much coverage on Iran and occupied Iran and free Iran and everything that's going on inside of Iran, because that's the biggest story in the world right now, and it's the most important thing going on, and we have got to overthrow this Ayatollah, folks, and we're going to overthrow it. So, and we're getting closer and closer every day. But, so, okay. But no likes on Facebook, right? No likes on Facebook. And I'm going on Facebook and I'm telling everybody, bro, I'm going viral on Instagram. It's crazy. Then, would you believe, right? And so I don't have the same people that watch my videos on Instagram as I do that watch me on Facebook, right? Not at all, right? Because these people don't know my Facebook at all because they just saw me on Instagram, right? So now, and I was telling my friend, I'm like, we just went viral on Instagram. And then he was like, man, Facebook is just a bunch of haters, bro. They're just hating all over you, bro. Because, the fact that you got hundreds of thousands of views and these people act like they don't even see it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. A bunch of haters. They're low-key jealous, just to be honest. I hate to say it, but it's true. Not everybody, I guess, but I don't know which ones are or aren't because nobody seemed to be liking it. But it is what it is. And then he was like, you need to invite people from your Instagram to come to Facebook so that people can see you getting all those likes and views on Facebook. And it was almost like somebody heard him say it, but because I didn't do that, I didn't go on Instagram and say, here's my Facebook and here's everything else. I haven't done that at all. And Then I go on my Facebook and it says 4.4 thousand likes on the post on Facebook. And I said, what the heck is going on right now? 4.4 thousand likes. I couldn't believe it again. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then I go in and I check my reels in my Facebook section to see how many views it's got. And it's got 70,000 views. So now I have a Facebook video that's a completely, totally different crowd, completely, totally different people, a whole nother pool of people, and it now has 70,000 views as well, so it's starting to go viral. There's another one on there that's got like 20,000, so I don't know what the heck is going on. I don't know what's going on or why it's all going viral, but it's cool with me. It's cool. It's like God or something, I guess. I mean, I don't know what else it could be. It's pretty crazy, and I don't know. So we're going viral on Instagram. Now we're starting to go viral on Facebook. It's crazy. And then I had a video on YouTube that got like 3,000 views, which is a lot on YouTube for me. And my subscribers are going up there. Crazy, man. This is crazy. So, I'm just kind of rolling with the punches. I don't know what's going on. We're just kind of riding the wave. just ride the wave, man. This is crazy. But it's awesome. And the awesomest part about it, the best part about it, is that I get to tell the truth and spread the truth and, do what I do, which is tell the truth, which is why we're called the Truth Rebellion. And the reason why we're called rebellion is because the world and society has become a place of lies and feel like they're built on total lies. And we all know that, right? Most people do. If you're not a propagandized clown, then you know exactly that truth. Well, most of everything in the mainstream news media and everything else has become just a lie. It's just trash. It's just nothing. It's not even the thing anymore. It's not even real anymore. It's just fake. They don't say anything. They don't even try anymore. There's no journalism whatsoever at all. It's crazy. It's become nonsense. So our society is built on lies. So in a society where lies have become the law, truth itself has become a rebellion. So that's why we're called the Truth Rebellion. We're rebelling against a society that refuses to tell the truth. And we're going to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, unfiltered, uncompromised, unafraid. Wherever it is. It doesn't matter where it is or what the subject's on. Wherever it's at, and we find out it's true, you best believe that we're going to talk about it. And we're going to make sure that people know. We're going to bring attention to it and make sure that people know. So, that's what it is. So, it's really cool. So, you can follow me on Instagram. I'll drop my Instagram on there. And I don't know that I dropped my Facebook. At least not yet, but maybe, I don't know, sometime in the future, maybe. I'll put my Twitter on there or something. I don't know. And you could go follow me on there. That'd be cool. And you can see it, and you could experience with me how everything's going viral. It's really crazy. Especially people that have been there from the very beginning, like some of my first subscribers on YouTube or whatever. Like, it's really cool. And, yeah. So that's what's been going on. That's the big crazy news. And it's big crazy news. Now, what I wanted to say about that, too, is that, TikTok, let me say that before I continue. Let me say about TikTok. TikTok is so crap, bro. I wanted to say this, okay? Because now I just got a video that went 10,000 views on there. Listen, TikTok makes me so angry. They piss me off so bad. And I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. They piss me off so bad. And I'll tell you why. And I'm really hoping that Donald Trump understands this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really hoping that Donald Trump gets this, bro. Like, he needs to understand this, okay? Like, I love Donald Trump. Obviously, I love Trump. I've been with Trump the whole way. I love Trump. I'm like the biggest Trump guy on the planet. I've been with Trump all the way since the very beginning, 2016, and I've been here every step of the way, faithful to Donald Trump. And but that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, Trump knows, like, most of you do, like we all do, that social media has been completely biased and has been censoring the crap out of us for like the last 5 years. And they kicked him off Twitter and they kicked him off YouTube, and they did the same thing to us. And, they kicked us off everything. It's crazy. And then you have Rumble and all these other ones rising up. Speaking of Rumble too, I got to say something about that as well. Okay, so we got all these things rising up. And but then Donald Trump came back, and Mark Zuckerberg got on his knees and begged like the beta male that he is for his life, so that he wouldn't be thrown in prison for the rest of his life. It's true, Mark. And so he groveled, and then so he's, as a result of that, he has been a little bit more lenient, a little bit nicer. I don't know that you call it lenient, because it's not like anyone's doing anything wrong. They're just telling the truth. It's more like he's been a little bit more not getting in the way of people telling the truth or something. And probably does that, I would say, and I think we all would say that he does that out of fear, because he doesn't want Trump to drop a presidential hammer on him. So Facebook, I don't really have any problems being censored on Facebook anymore. I don't really get, and I say a lot. I talk about COVID and the election. I talk about all sorts of things. I not really experience any censorship from Facebook or Instagram at all, right? Obviously, I'm now going viral on Instagram. So it's a lot better than it was. YouTube is the same way. Because Trump sued YouTube for demonetizing him and kicking him off YouTube, and they settled out of that lawsuit for $30 million, I believe it was, official number. And as a result of that, they said that they would let other people come back, and they did, because I know some channels that have been kicked off of there, and now they're back, and I was like, that's crazy. I never thought I would see you guys back here. So, YouTube has been doing better. They've been less censored, okay? And Twitter, we know, got taken over by X. Shout out Elon. Thank you, Elon Musk. God bless you, man. So happy for that. And we got Truth Social and all that, and that's great. And Rumble, and that's great. And Facebook and Instagram and YouTube have been being better. That doesn't mean that I trust them, or that they can't flip on the dime the next time someone else tries to do something, so I don't really trust them. They're kind of snaky to me. But right now, you don't have to worry about being censored too much on there, because, they just kind of don't want to get sued. Now, with that being said, TikTok is not like that. TikTok is not that way. TikTok is just as bad as they ever were, just as bad as it was with Facebook and Twitter and everything way back in the beginning. TikTok is still like that. And this is what I'm trying to get people to understand. And I don't know if Trump realizes this or not, because Trump said to TikTok, right? He made a deal with TikTok. And he said, and we know, he said to TikTok, you're either going to play it our way, or you're going to sell your half of the United States to us, or you're not even going to get in here in the first place. And that's all great, and that's all wonderful, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not criticizing any of that. That's great. Okay, cool. And I know a friend of mine that is viral on TikTok. He's got 600,000 followers. So I'm happy for people like him, and I'm happy for content creators on TikTok that they don't have their complete platform wiped out overnight because of that. So, and I think that had a lot to do with Donald Trump's decision. I think Donald Trump felt for those people, and he even talks about that with Barron Trump and Barron being on there and podcasting, and Trump going on podcasts and everything. But this is what I'm trying to say. I don't think that Donald Trump realizes that they're still censoring as hard as they are. I don't want to get rid of TikTok, but I'm saying this. In that deal, they wouldn't even be here in this country if it wasn't for us. TikTok would not even be able to be in this country if it wasn't for us. And as a part of that deal, I really feel like they should be forced to live up to the same exact expectations of all other social media companies are being held up to as well. Not only Truth Social and Rumble and X, where you have true free speech, but also even YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, where you are allowed to say a lot more of what you want, not really being scared of getting kicked off for it. Okay, so I think it's TikTok is the only major one that I've seen yet so far that is still filled to the brim with completely far left nonsense rhetoric. And I can prove it to you too. I have the receipts. Okay? This is still happening on TikTok right now. Videos that I post on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere that have no trouble at all, they go on TikTok and the thing's almost ripped down immediately. I constantly have to appeal, and they lie through their teeth about the stuff it is. Like sometimes I'll get hit with like nudity. And there's no nudity on there. Nobody that's watching that video would ever say there was nudity on there. No algorithm, no AI would ever say that, right? Like it's just intentionally trying to remove it. Like, and then I'll file an appeal and then they'll overturn it and they'll bring it back. Or they hit me with something on one clip about saying that I was promoting violent extremism, radical extremism. And I was literally, you go back and watch the clip, I literally was condemning political violence. Literally condemned it. Cannot be mistaken. And they lie through their teeth and said that was. And then they wound up kicking me off of TikTok because of its total BS. I feel like Donald Trump. I feel like Trump when he was in front of everybody at January 6th and he said, peacefully protest, and they said he told them to go take over the Capitol. I mean, that's what it feels like. I mean, it's literally, you can't watch it and not see it for what it is because you are a liar, right? That's what it is. But what's really made me mad, right? And I've just made other TikTok accounts, and I have multiple TikTok accounts, and that's how I still post stuff on there from time to time. I don't hate TikTok, but this has to be dealt with because it's Chinese propaganda. It has to be dealt with. You cannot have a deal with this country, the United States of America. You want to be here, and you want to make a money financial deal and still censor and promote your far left radical crap because that's exactly what it is. Okay, and this is the big one. This is where it really gets to me. And I put this up on Twitter. You can see this on Twitter. And I talked about this in other places, Instagram and YouTube. But people are fatigued by it, so they're not really surprised by it. So people don't go like, whoa, that's crazy, I can't believe it. Because they expect it. They know, well, yeah, that's TikTok, right? Like, they expect it. And they shouldn't. And unfortunately, when you expect it so much like that, it almost actually works against you because you won't become outraged about it. You know, it's really interesting. So, and I don't feel like Trump understands that the level of censorship at TikTok is still so high, because if he did, I'm pretty sure that he would say something about it, right? I'm pretty sure he would call TikTok up and say, no, see, a part of the deal is not that you can completely invade the country with far left, radical, liberal, nonsense, Islamicist, and communistic propaganda, right? Like, that's not part of the deal. And they're so far, right? Oh, well, it's just your opinion. No, it's really not, because it's almost comical. Like, I'll put a clip that's on Instagram or YouTube or wherever that will get 70%, 70 to 80%. And these are viral clips, right? So it's a lot of people watching. So there's a lot of room for people that disagree to be seeing it and to say that they want to disagree. And we have those people on there that disagree, of course. There's nothing wrong with that, but they're wrong, but you don't want to, you're not like kick them out of the comment section because they're so wrong that it doesn't matter what they say because we think that the truth will beat them, right? And that's what it is. But the thing is, though, that 70% of the views are all agreeing. They're all in support. There are people saying, yes, this is how it works. 70 to 90% of every one of them is in agreement, positive, right? But if I go on TikTok, 99%, not over-exaggerating, is negative. So I think to myself, how could it be that on Instagram, 70 to 90% positive. Facebook, 70, 90 pause. YouTube, 70, 90 pause. And these are like, well, of course, on Twitter and Truth or whatever are all positive. But so we're using what you would call maybe neutral platforms. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, 70, 90% positive. From algorithms that have not historically been on our side, right? But TikTok, 99%. So why is it that every other company, even the ones that were not really for us, that we created whole social media networks to rival because of them, they get 70, 90% positive, and you magically just have the 10 out of 100 people in the world that always seem to be 99% of the only people that are allowed to comment on the video. Yeah, okay. And so, but it's not just that. What really pissed me off is when I saw, the viral video of the girl smoking a cigarette and she's burning the Ayatollah's picture and she smokes the cigarette on that. That's a viral video, okay? I put that exact video on TikTok, exact same one. There was not an intro on it. There was not an outro on it. There was nothing else different except a filter, okay? I put a filter on it. That's it. But no man, human, woman, or child is watching that video and not realizing that that's the girl that went viral for smoking the fire off of the Ayatollah's picture just now because Iran's in a full-blown revolution, right? Nobody in the world is confusing the picture or the video. That video gets taken down from TikTok. They took it down. And they said that it violated their rules and standards. And you're like, oh, yeah. Well, what rules and standards did it violate exactly? Right? The rule and standard of not being a communist? The rule and standard of not being a jihad? Is it that TikTok is secretly run by a bunch of Muslims? A bunch of far radical Muslims that secretly take money from the Ayatollah? Does the Ayatollah have some sort of corrupt investments inside of TikTok? Because that's what's going on? People say it's China. Well, yeah, but what do we know about China, though? We know that China buys 90% of all of Iran's oil, right? So, I mean, it's not really a far fetch that the Ayatollah might whisper in Xi's ear and say, I'm not really feeling this girl going viral. I want to stop this revolution. But the fact that TikTok allows it is crazy. They take it down, say it violates their standards. Like, if you ever needed any more proof, guys, what can be misconstrued about it? What I say, although if you're not a liar and you speak straight through your teeth, you could see how somebody would try to twist it, right? Because it's me and they just hate me because I'm not a communist, right? They're going to misconstrue Donald Trump's words because he's Donald Trump. They're going to misconstrue Elon Musk because he's Elon Musk. They're going to misconstrue Charlie Kirk because he's Charlie Kirk. They're going to misconstrue me because they see me as a MAGA supporter. But how are you going to convince people, because I was not in the video, not an intro, outro, or nothing, just the girl. You're going to convince people that the girl that's smoking the Ayatollah picture with the cigarette, that she's a violent right-wing extremist. That's what you're trying to say. That's the play you're trying to take. Because it's bull. Nobody watches it, and AI is not going to take it down because there's nothing in the video that violates the service terms. Nothing. That means that somebody saw that video and already knew what it was because it's a viral video. They know what it is. They know what it means. They know that that's direct defiance of the most viral kind right into the Ayatollah's face. They know exactly what that means. And they decided that they're going to take it down because they don't want to help this revolution get any form of positive traction. They want to take it down so that they could help the Ayatollah. That's what that means. So I screenshotted where it violates their code of conduct community standards. And I put that up on Twitter. And, you know, a number of people saw it, but I was not satisfied with the number of people that saw it because people need to know this. This is ridiculous. So I sent an appeal, and of course they took as long as humanly possible, as long as the waiting list is on their appeals, like 3 days, the very last second. And then they came back and they actually, they appealed it. They approved the appeal because of course they did, because it does not violate the community standards. I put the exact same clip on Twitter and said, this is the clip that they took down. Now you tell me that you're not biased for the Ayatollah and you see that clip and you take it down. Somebody, please just tell me that. So they overturned it because they didn't have a choice, because they could have got sued because there's nothing that violates the standards. And then I put up a video of me burning the Ayatollah's picture, which some of you probably seen. I put that up on Instagram, got like 20,000 views. I put that up on Facebook and various other places. And I put it on TikTok. Now, like I said, credit, on TikTok, I have a small account, but that's because I get banned every other week and I have to make another one. So on there, but yet still the views on there, you're still getting a couple hundred views per video regardless, right? Just because that's how TikTok works. But except for this one picture, this one video where me burning the Ayatollah gets 0 views. 0. Listen to me. 0. 0 views, 0 comments, 0 shares. Not in the first 5 minutes, not in the first hour, not in the first 24 hours, ever. Still, now, weeks later, 0. Meaning, but the videos before it have 400 views. The video right after it has hundreds of views. It's the only one. 0, 0, 0. Triple zeros. They intentionally blocked that video from being on anybody's feed at all whatsoever. Does not pop up on a feed. They take her video down. Mine doesn't pop up on a feed. Tell me that's not pro-Ayatollah regime. I'm so dead serious about this. TikTok is obviously whoever's in charge of that, and this is the American TikTok. Whoever's in charge with those executives, they are 100% in collusion with the Ayatollah in Iran, without a shadow of a doubt. Okay? I put up other videos there, and then I started like trying to trick the algorithm, right? So I would take those videos and then I would like remix them and then upload them again, but it has like a different mix, or it's got like music or in the background, or it looks like one of those like poppy dance song filters or something like that. And those would get views because it tricks the algorithm. But just the pure video itself, still 0 views. Then I put up another video on there. And I think it was a video of a whole nother person. And that was like them just talking bad about the Ayatollah. 0 views, 0 comments, 0 shares. They are literally they are helping silence and censor the voice of the Iranian people in Iran. Meaning, not only do they have an Iranian digital blackout from the internet, but let's just say anyone inside of the country was able to get some internet access for 10 minutes. They better not decide to post it to Instagram because it's not going to be seen by anybody. Let's say they accidentally get past all that, and then they get a view, and then they say, I'm going to show oh crap, Instagram, or they are not Instagram, but TikTok. I'm going to throw it on TikTok real quick and just get it out there to people. And then what's going to happen is it's going to go to TikTok, and then it's going to get 0 views, 0 comments, 0 shares. That's ridiculous. Something has to be done about it. You cannot allow TikTok to make a deal with us and be in the United States of America with us, Trump, like you said and like you do, and we get money out of it. Great. I think Trump agrees with me on this wholeheartedly 100%. It's just that he doesn't know that it's going on. Somebody needs to tell him. And you cannot do that and continue to not just promote far left narratives, not just kick off the TikTok if it claims that there's elections that may not be totally sound, not just kick people off if they question vaccines still 5 years later after it's all come out, but silence videos of people, Iranian protesters, in the middle of a humanitarian jihadic holocaustic genocide. Somebody at the top of TikTok executives is 100% very close to the Ayatollah. And that's the American TikTok. The American TikTok is close to the Ayatollah. So there needs to be awareness about that, bro. So that's another thing that I was trying to say. Oh my goodness. So that's everything that's been going on so far. But there is a lot going on in the world, and we're about to get into that too, because this is the Truth Rebellion. And I'm your host, Joshua Gerald Michael Shuz. Love you.